All right, so I am Melissa Shaver, Emerald Ambassador with our Gem Explosion team. This is Plexus Worldwide. The things that we are talking about tonight are not from corporate. They are individual to what I have learned within doing my business. This is just my opinion on the conversation that we're going to have tonight in regards to meeting your goals and being able to meet those goals through sharing. So I want to share that piece up front and really do want to walk through a couple of things. Hopefully we've got some new ambassadors on the call tonight as well as veteran ambassadors. I think we can all learn from different perspectives, but I also know that for some of our new ambassadors, it's such a fear of sharing. And I will say after 3.5 years of doing this business, I still have a fear at times of sharing, depending on who I'm sharing with, what the conversation is, what I'm trying to do, if they're on my chicken list, or if there's someone that I really respect. Those conversations are hard. So it's really good to go back and look. But what we need to all understand is that when we share, let me get us muted here. When we share information, that is when we succeed. And so it's really important. That is the business that we're in, is the sharing business. So it's really important that we not only understand why we do it, what we're doing, how to do it, what the technique is. You know, for all of us, as many of you know, I come from a corporate background and then moved into nonprofit. And in anything that we do, doesn't matter what we do, we have to be trained in those areas. We have to learn new skills, new disciplines for that. If you're in a corporate setting, you might train for months before you can actually start doing the work. And it's the same in network marketing. It's the same thing with your business. There's going to be some different areas that you need to learn, some skills that you need to get into your toolkit so that you can get good. And honestly, you need to practice those things. It's so important for us to train each other, to take it in, to apply it, to practice it, but then turn around and teach it to another. I really believe that the teaching process, if you will learn to take what you hear and teach it to your new ambassadors, to your teams, to those that you're spending time with, I think that that's where you really kind of get it rooted inside of you of what you're learning so that you can apply it better. So we are in the business of relationship marketing. Everything that we do is around sharing, and you have to share to grow your business. There's no other way around that. Now, I do think that there's many of us that try to make it another way around that, and so we hide behind our computers. We might just post, which, yes, that is sharing, depending on how you post. That is sharing. We might private message, but bottom line is, if you're not building relationships, if you're not cultivating those relationships, spending time with people, that's the area that you're going to grow. It's where you're going to grow your team. It's where you're going to grow prospects to become part of your team. It's where you're going to grow your customers, is building those relationships. So right off the bat, what I want us to all understand, especially, well, not especially new ambassadors, I think it's for all of us. I think for some of us, this might be the area that we need to adjust and change if we are stumbling or we're not growing and we can't figure out why. And that is that what we do within Plexus is that we do share. We don't sell. And there's a difference between the two. We share our story. You know, anytime I think about selling, we have so many great salespeople, and they have quotas. They have monthly quotas, weekly quotas, quarterly quotas. That's how they get their bonuses. And you know a salesperson. You know when they're trying to close a deal. Sometimes, honestly, you might feel that even with what you're doing at month end, right? All of a sudden you're closing deals and you're becoming a salesperson versus being a person that's sharing your story, sharing your passion, really listening to their time frame. I know this past January with our incentive, for so many of us that worked really, really hard, the timing just was not our timing. As we shared, it wasn't their time to, jump in with us. And we have to go off of their timetable. Sometimes it's just they're not ready to make that move. And I think we can hurt relationships if we push too hard and we sell versus share. So I want to make sure that we understand the difference of that skill set and what that looks like. I really do think, for someone who's selling plexes and trying to sell these products, I think that it's all wrapped up about you and not about the other person. I think that sharing is sharing story, being relatable, really listening to the other person and finding out what their needs are and finding a way that you can fill that need for them. So there's a big difference between the two. Are you focused on self or are you focused on other? And being able to see that. We're also going to talk a little bit about the hunter and the farmer and what that piece looks like. But I do think that as we figure out the differences between this and knowing that we are building relationships and we are sharing passion and enthusiasm and excitement because our lives have changed in some way, either our health or, from our business, our financial side has changed in some way. Maybe the way, that we get to our time has changed. So we're sharing those things and that passion with others. And passion is contagious. Enthusiasm is contagious. And so being able to do that. But I think as we figure this out, one thing that I see over and over again is that many of us, I think the biggest mistake we make, and we see it with our new ambassadors, if we have any new ambassadors on tonight, that the mistake that we make from the very beginning often is that we wait. So here I am saying, man, make sure that you're sharing, not selling. Make sure that you're, just sending out passion and enthusiasm and not trying to hit that bottom line of I've got to get you to buy this, because that's not what we're about. But then I'm also saying, oh my goodness, don't wait, don't hold back. But there's a difference there. And what I'm saying here is that a lot of people, and you might be this person right now, you might have even shared for a while and now you stepped back from sharing because maybe you feel like that you aren't a good example or that you failed in some way and you can't be the quote role model. What I want you to hear is whenever you hold back on sharing, especially if you're like, Melissa, I'm just going to wait until I get my results. I'm going to wait and see if I lose weight first. I'm going to see what it feels like for me first. I really feel like I need to have a story. If all of those reasons are why you're going to tell me that you're not sharing, I'm going to tell you that you are missing out on a paycheck for 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 weeks because you're waiting. And what you can be doing is that you can go ahead and start sharing with people and asking them to participate in the journey with you, for you to hold back and wait and not share your enthusiasm and your excitement for ordering the product, for getting the product, for having the expectations that you have of how these products are going to work for you because of what your friend told you, the person that sponsored you into Plexus. Like, you need to start sharing those pieces of your journey up front. Whenever you don't do that, you're missing out on huge opportunities to be able to share. So I want to make sure that we are doing that. I'm sorry, I've just thought of a note that I want to make sure that we talk about tonight. So make sure that you start sharing your story up front. And this is why. It's not just about you. I just talked about your paycheck. It's so much more than that. It is because you have friends and you have family that are waiting for that one last thing that could change their life. You have people tonight, right now. I have a friend that I met through Plexus. Goodness, I think she's in Florida. I don't even know where she is, and we talk weekly. I should know where she lives. That I have just fallen in love with, and hopefully you guys are going to hear her in the upcoming weeks. And she literally, her life, she was so sick, so exhausted, and so negative about life. She actually defriended people on Facebook that their life was going good because she was so bitter. And she says that it was that post that was put out there that she resonated with, that was that one last thing of, could this be what changes my life? And so for you and I to not start sharing immediately and start sharing with passion and be able to start talking about what we expect these products to do or what these products are doing in our life, honestly, is the difference of, I mean, I'm not going to go as far as drastically saying save a life, but definitely changing a life that feels like that there's nothing that can change them in any way. And that is whether that's health or whether that is financial or whether that is time or whether that is community and needing to be in a community and support. There are so many things out there that we need to be sharing the story of who we are as One Plexus with our products, with our company, with our compensation plan, our community, our focus on self-development that people are dying for. And so you need to start sharing those things up front, and getting that information out there and being excited about it. If you're new or if you have new people on your team and they're like, I don't even have that passion that you have. Like, I want that passion, but I don't have that passion. You know what? Give them some of yours. Give them your belief. Give them your story. Give them ideas of different things. I think even being on team calls and on team pages and friending people that you're meeting because of our team, all those different things are good because you're going to hear story and you're going to be able to share those different things whenever you're having conversation. So let's talk a little bit about who you need to share with, okay? So we know without a doubt you need to share. We know that we are in a sharing and relationship business, and we need to be good at it. We need to like people. Like, I don't think that you can do this business and say, you know, I really don't like people. And there's people like that out there. I mean, like, I'll tell you, there were years ago that there was a certain dynamic of people I didn't like, and I questioned why God put me right in the middle of them, and I learned to love them. But you can't do what we're doing in network marketing, especially with health and wellness, and not care about others and not like people. And it's what we're in. We like people. So who are these people that we're going to be sharing with? Well, the first thing that you have to do is get that comprehensive list. We always talk about this. So if you are new to Plexus, your upline probably said, I want you to get 100 people written down on a piece, you know, pull out a notebook, pull out a piece of paper, write down everybody you know, do a brain dump. And if you have been with Plexus for 3.5 years, like me, you know that you continue doing brain dumps over and over and over again. I just went back over it again this weekend, and probably this weekend added about 40 people to my list. So it never goes away. It is a continual process. But I want to talk a little bit about this comprehensive list. Now, you will hear us talk about that this is your Frank's list. That's kind of the easy way to think about it. And that is an acronym for friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids organizations, social, like society type organizations that you're in. So maybe boards or hobbies or sports. So you build out that list, and I'm going to ask you to not judge. I really am going to ask you just to write everybody down, and you just start writing them down as they pop into your head. You write them down from the age of 18 to the age of 98. You write them down whether they're an introvert or an extrovert. You write them down if they love network marketing or if they hate network marketing. You write them down if they have a job, if they don't have a job. You don't exclude anybody whenever you write this down. Guys, I think that is the worst thing that I've ever done, is that I immediately say, oh, I mean, there's no way he'll do this. Or, she is like perfectly healthy. I'm not even going to write her name down because she's going to laugh at me. There are so many different people. I just today went out to someone who's been talking about pain for quite some time that I see every single day. And I never would send any information to her because she has so many resources, like seriously at her fingertips of being able to be taken care of. She's in my area. I was like, there's no way she's not already on Plexus. Today, I finally messaged her. She was part of my 10 people that I reached out to today, and she has already messaged me back, said, I have been wanting to talk to you about Plexus. Let's talk tomorrow. But I had already prejudged her. And I've been doing this for 3.5 years. So please listen to me to say, do not prejudge, do not exclude, put them all on paper. Because we have a company and we have supplements that everybody needs something within it. We offer things that people need. And so we have to figure out which area it is that they need it, okay? So write all those people down and put that down. You know, in my list, I have a box. I use an index box. If you haven't seen my video on that, please go watch it. It's on YouTube. And so I kind of organize that. We're not going to talk about that tonight. But, you know, whenever I look at my little black box over here, these are the people that I know they need help. I don't know if they need it financially. I don't know if they need it health-wise. I don't know if they need community. I don't know if they need self-development. But I know that they need help, and I know that I can help them. And so that's how I look at my people, and that is my mindset. I don't write out this list. I don't put everybody on index cards and go, man, you know, I don't think I have anything of value to offer them. No, my mindset is they need this, they want this, and I'm going to reach out to them. So make sure that you're doing that. And if you need to name your list, name your list. So once you get that together, I want you to re-look at that list. And from here, I want you to say, who do they know? Who do they know that I need to know? You know, Eric Worre talks about this, that we are only 6 contacts away from anyone in the world. And last week, this just happened to me. I was going to a new group that I was meeting, and I had to speak with the president prior to going and all these different things. And whenever I got there to meet the team, one of the first things he said, because after I emailed him and we talked back and forth in email, then he friended me on Facebook. See, he does exactly what we do. And he friended me on Facebook. And whenever I met with him the next day, his first thing was, I see that you're friends with so-and-so. And I said, yes, that's one of my dear friends. I mentor her daughter, yada, yada, yada. He said, well, we were neighbors. And I said, oh my goodness, how cool. Okay, that immediately just set me up for him to trust me more, for him to go, okay, maybe she knows what she's talking about. Okay, if she hangs out with these people and I respect these people, that he automatically equals me with that. And so we're that close to people, and it got me in, if you will. So you need to look at those people and you need to say, who do they know? Who do I need to be introduced to? Who is it that they can refer to, that they have needs for, which we're going to talk through that. So make sure that you're looking at that whole piece of all of that. And then what I want you to do, so you've made your list, and maybe you made it a year ago, last week, last month, but now you're expanding on it and saying, who do these people know? Now, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to start adding 2 people a day. So at least 2 new people add to your list every day. And guess what? That means that you have to meet them. These are new people that you're meeting, new people that you're seeing whenever you're out doing your hobby or walking the dog or going to a board meeting or a committee meeting or anything like that. You're going to add them. And you know what's crazy? I was doing up the numbers today because I love like crunching numbers and stuff like that. And if you only added 2 people, which is kind of fun to figure out who you're going to meet. Like if you wake up in the morning going, okay, God, like just let me meet 2 new people. Like, who are those? Is it me driving through, getting a coffee? Is that a person that I'm meeting? Is it someone in the grocery store that I just happen to stop at the pasta area where they're at the pasta area? We have a conversation. Where is that? But if you add 2 people for, say, 6 days, so you take 1 day off of not meeting people, 6 days, that's like a little bit over 600 people a year that you're adding to your list, that you're building relationships with, that you're having conversations around different things that are going on. So you can see how your list never shrinks, if you will. Like, I always have people say, Melissa, I've gone through everybody on my list. I'm like, there's no way that you've gone through everyone on your list, because I've been doing this for 3.5 years and I'm still adding people. There's still people in my box that I haven't even contacted yet. I love one thing that Eric Worre says. He says, dig your well before you're thirsty. I love that. Dig your well before you're thirsty. Start meeting those people, adding people to your list, cultivating relationships before all of a sudden you say, I'm dry, I'm done, there's no one else that I know, I've contacted everybody. No, dig your well now, keep adding people, and you'll never not have people to talk to every single day and to share your passion and your enthusiasm with them. So add those people, and whenever you add them, guys, make sure that, so for me, I add them to my index cards, okay? So if I'm out, I'll put it on my phone, or I'll text myself, or if I'm somewhere and I put it on a sticky, but as soon as I get home, I put it on my cards. I just got new cards. I kind of go crazy. I've gone through so many cards. These are my new ones. I'm really excited about them. They just came in today because I've run out of cards, so that means I've gone through, let's see, these will be my 5s and 6, and there are 100 in each, so I've gone through 400 cards, so I'm on my next 200, and I get really excited whenever I get to open up new index cards. But whenever you do that, then I put those on my index cards and I file them because I know exactly where they are. They're all in alphabetical order and all that great stuff. So whenever you do that, though, make sure that you're adding them to Facebook. So if you meet them out somewhere, I always say, hey, are you on Facebook? I'd love to friend you. I have them look up their name, and then I take a picture of their profile. So let me see if I can even find one real quick, because I do this pretty much every day. Let me find one of my people. And actually, whenever I find them, I will delete them after I find them and we start having conversations. So like, here's the one that I added last week, and we are having coffee this week right after we work out. And so then I remember, because a lot of times I'm really bad with names. And so then I'm like, oh my goodness, she friended me. I don't even know what her name is because I forgot 5 minutes ago. So I've learned to take a picture until I get it in my head, and then I can get it off my camera roll. So make sure that you're doing that. If you need to get their email, if you need to take a picture of their business card, any of those different things, make sure that you do that whenever you add them to your list, okay? And then just, get all that contact information from them. What I do is if I meet a group of people, if I go to a meeting and I meet all the people and I get their business cards and we have great conversations, I immediately turn around, especially if I have their business card, and I send them an email and thank them and just say, it was so great meeting you today. You looked beautiful in your dress, or I loved your presentation, or I'm looking forward to getting to know you better. But I make contact with them immediately, and then I will, Facebook friend them if I haven't done that yet. So make sure you kind of work through those processes and get those pieces going, okay? And then lastly, as you're building your relationships, adding to your list, seeing your list grow, I love to see my list grow. Make sure that you're networking on purpose, okay? Everything you do is about building relationships, meeting new people, finding out what that, that 6 contact separation that you are from other people and getting to know their people. So what I mean by this is you're meeting new people every day, because we want you to add 2 people every day to your list. You're in networking groups, you are volunteering in organizations, you go to personal development seminars. Those are like the greatest places to go, is personal development seminars. That's where people are wanting to better themselves. That's where people are striving to be better. They are looking for opportunities to better themselves. What better place than Plexus Worldwide for them to get that opportunity? My last 3 years, I have never grown the way I have in personal development like I have the last 3 years. This is the place to do that. So find those areas that you can go to that you're learning yourself, but you're meeting these really interesting people that are also wanting to better themselves. Those are the people we want, right? So go out there and find those. Go to gyms, go to, do different types of Zumbas and stuff like Marilyn does, and going with a group that you see those same people week after week after week, and you can build those relationships and get to know them. And guys, whenever you're doing this, it's not always all about Plexus, right? Like, just get to know them. Find connections, find ways that you resonate with each other, build trust, just like love experiencing that with them. It doesn't have to just be, once again, you're not selling. It's not a hard sell about Plexus. It is cultivating relationships, building trust, having conversation, really knowing about them and their life. It's exciting. It's fun. So maybe it's hobbies that you do, or learning new things, finding out what those things are. Bottom line is, get out there. Don't stay behind your computer. I know so many work full time and they're like, Melissa, you're asking me to do crazy stuff. I do not have time. Like, what planet were you born on? Well, I will say that I worked full time until 3.5 months ago. And I still found ways to meet new people every day. And I had to be really, really creative. Sometimes I'd need to leave a little bit early before I got to work so that I could drive through some kind of a crazy line, or go to Market Street and go through the grocery store and buy, a protein bar so that I could go through a line or have a conversation with someone. Or, I had to make sure that I was working out at certain times that I would see other people. And whenever I work out, now my life is a little bit different because I work out with a community and I did that intentionally. But before that, I worked out by myself and I wanted to be alone. And I've had to learn how to be different. Like, go into the locker room, have conversation with people in the locker room, like, be interested in other people. It's only blessed me. It's only brought me joy. But you might have to make some adjustments and make some changes. And so evaluate that. Think about that. Some of you guys work in places that y'all meet really cool people and new people every single day. Count it a joy, count it a blessing, but be intentional with it, right? So you need to change that up a little bit. So as we learn how to share, so we've got our list going. We know exactly what we need to do. I really am going to ask you to put that into practice. So everything that we've talked about, like, don't just listen, but actively start doing it. But when we start sharing, mindset is everything. So the way that you think about yourself, the way that you believe about these products and this company and this compensation plan and this personal development, the way that you expect to get feedback, all of that matters. All of that matters. Your posture matters. And so I will say, if you don't have affirmations in front of you, we talk so much about affirmations and affirming yourself. You need to start that practice. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please message your upline or message me after this call. Let us help you with that. We've talked so much about this book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. If you have not read this book, you need to read this book. I've talked about apps that I have on my phone that will allow you to record affirmations so that you can hear them back. But please, please, please be affirming yourself. Many people use scripture. They use, verses of who they are in Christ and who they believe themselves to be. Others use affirmations like, I am a diamond. Whenever I walk into a room, I'm confident. Whatever it is that maybe is a weakness for you or a fear for you, you flip that around and make it an affirmation and speak it to yourself over and over again. So that's all I'm going to say about affirmations. Call me, call your upline if you don't know what we're talking about. But this is what is so important, is that you are confident, you're excited, you have passion, you're strong, you're bold, like you present yourself in that way. You present yourself that you are good enough, right? That you are good enough and that you're worthy and that you are valuable and that you are bringing value to the conversation. It's so important for you to see yourself and believe that. You need to build your belief. And if you're like, I don't believe, I just started, well, you need to start watching diamond documentaries. You need to watch different training videos. You need to maybe do some research on the products, the ingredients in the products. You need to be a product of the product. You need to fully understand that crazy compensation plan. There's some videos on the compensation plan, but what I would tell you is to even kind of go and interview different people, your upline, your sidelines, different people that have been successful that you're watching. Talk to them about the compensation plan. Talk to them about how the compensation has changed their life. Like, learn those different things, because it will fuel your fire and your passion as you hear those stories from others, if that's what you need to do. Another thing is smile. Your posture and your mindset. There's something that happens when you smile versus when you frown. And so make sure that you are smiling. And this is something, it's so important for you to put into practice. Even when you're texting, when you're leaving a voice message, when you are on the phone and leaving a voicemail, guys, there's a difference whenever you're talking to someone with a smile versus when you're talking to someone without a smile. There's a difference whenever you sit up and whenever you slouch. And so your posture, even if you're by yourself, having a conversation, leaving voicemails, a lot of times I stand instead of sit, because there's a difference. There's a different energy in standing versus sitting. So it's important. It's really important that you know those things and you start living out those different, really small skill sets that will change the way that you present yourself. So make sure that you are doing that. And I think that we just need to fully understand that anytime that you're sharing, anytime that you are communicating in any way, you need to know that these people need these products and they need this opportunity. You're just the messenger, but you're a messenger of hope. And you're a messenger of opportunity. And then what they do with it is fine. You're not responsible for what they do with the information. You're responsible for giving them the information. I mean, look how great you feel. Look what it has meant to you to get these great, incredible paychecks. Why would you hide that from anyone? I mean, why wouldn't you share how you feel with other people so that they can feel the same, so that they can feel better, so that their quality of life is different? It's just what we should do. It's our responsibility. So make sure that you've got your mindset, in the right place. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is hunting versus fishing. Now, if you have been in plexus for any time at all, you've heard the analogy between the hunter and the fisher. So I'm not going to go into massive detail. It is, I believe, in Eric Worre's book. As I'm dropping everything around me. His book, if you have not read this, I would definitely make sure that you get a copy of this. GoPro, Eric Worre. Great, great, great information. Lots of information that we're talking about tonight. But he talks about the hunter and the fisher. fisherman and the farmer and the hunter. And so just real quick, the difference, the hunter, anytime I think about this, bottom line is a hunter chases and a hunter kills. That's it. And people are going to run from you if you are a hunter. And if you are aggressive and you are driving them crazy and you're saying, why aren't you ordering and why can't you order now? They are not going to even want to participate in anything that you're doing. So do not beat your prospects down. You don't want to walk into a room and then go, oh my goodness, there is Melissa. She is driving me crazy. I don't even want to see her. You want to walk into a room and people go, oh my goodness, there's Melissa. And she's probably not even going to talk to me about plexus because she loves me more than she loves that. And hopefully they're right. And they're going to be glad to see me and I'm going to be glad to see them. And there's a time and a place for us to have those conversations. And if I've already sent them a message, either they haven't seen it yet or they're still thinking about it, or it might come up naturally in the conversation. But I'm not going to go and badger them about it, right? So there's a difference between those two. A farmer, whenever you think about a farmer, I always think of someone that has so much patience. They are so patient. They know that they need to be tending to whatever the work is that they're doing. They're watering, they're fertilizing, they are nurturing, they are enjoying the process. Farmers so know the process of farming and they trust the process. They trust the process. They know when harvest comes. They know when they need to till. It is very, very, very relationship driven. Whereas to me, the hunter is that salesperson that's got the quota, that it's all about them. So there's the difference between those. So what you and I need to remember is that you are the coach, you are the messenger, you are the educator, you are the informer. And you're going to share, and you're going to share your passion, your enthusiasm. You're going to educate. And then it's up to them. And their response is their response. And you're going to accept, and you're going to love, and you're going to continue to cultivate. I've got a girl that I've been working with for 2 years now. We just had another conversation today. She knows what I do. She knows that I want her to try it, but I continue to love her where she is. I continue to be interested in her life. I continue to ask her questions because I know one day she's going to come around. But I just continue to share in small ways and leave it at that and just continue to love and accept where she is. So make sure that you're doing that. Now, another thing, when you are sharing about plexus or the products or different things, I think it's always so important, and Eric talks a lot about this too, that you have an end goal for them. So that could be an event. I think we were just talking about this weekend with some leaders that I was with, that it's so important. And if you really set a process in place where you have an end goal for them to end up at, it's such a great process to do. So as you're sharing, there might be an event at the end of the tunnel, if you will, of 4 weeks or 3 weeks. That's why I think, guys, live events, opportunity events, those things are so important. If you've been with us for a while, you know that in January was our first one for the year of doing what's called Rally Cry. Those are for ambassadors, but they're also for those people of being able to come in, people that you're cultivating a relationship, that you're wanting to be on your team. They can be there with you at that event. But having an event, an opportunity in some way for them to get to. But there's all these other ways that you can share with them and that you can have endpoints for. Because this is what I want us to understand about events. Because talking to so many of you. Some events are great. You do online events, you do live events, you can do Zoom calls, you can do three-way chats. All of those are events. You can do samples where you send out samples. Those are all some form of an event, of inviting, of participating. But what we need to understand whenever we have like opportunity live events and we're like, nobody showed, and we get disappointed, what I want to encourage you with is they are not crazy, passionate, in love with plexus the way that you are. So they don't see the excitement, they don't see the value, and you and I do, and we're like, oh my goodness, if we could just get them there. But if we could just be in their shoes and think the way that they think, to come to the realization their perspective is not ours. And so have other ways for them to taste plexus, if you will, so that eventually you can get them to that event, right? So that end result might not be the very first thing that you talk to them about. You might be building that to where they come to that in a month or 2 months or 3 months. But along the way, you are doing other types of events. Okay, does that make sense? So like I said, it can be an online pajama party or info type of a seminar or webinar. It could be sample packs. Sample packs are so great. Either people love them or they don't. But I will say that I think they're great because you can get them in back office, but also you get their address. I don't know if y'all have our new catalog that is amazing. It is like the best thing. I'm like so proud of it. But you can actually say, hey, I would love to mail you a catalog. Can you send me your address? And I will put a couple of samples in there as well. So you are setting up, that is an event of them receiving something, and you're building that relationship with them. So then whenever you can get them to that event, they're going to see the activity, the community, the excitement, the energy, but it's going to take them possibly a couple of smaller events. One-on-ones are huge, face-to-face. That's an event. So make sure that you're doing that. I try to do 3 one-on-one face-to-face every single week. So I am working through sharing with people, going through my list, asking them to coffee, doing a Zoom call with them, having a phone conversation with them. I met someone 2 Thursdays ago. We talked for an hour on a one-on-one, which I never expected to go that long, but it was great conversation. And now we're talking again in 2 weeks. Always, whenever you're having those conversations, set the date for the next time that y'all are going to have a conversation. So maybe in between, you send them a diamond documentary of something you're talking and something resonated, and you thought, oh my goodness, she would love to see this diamond documentary. Or send them an info on one of the products if there was something that was going on. Jennifer Pickett has some great 3 to 5 minute videos on different products. They're great to send out one of those if something's going on. And then as you're sharing, as you're setting up these different little tasks of events that you're building this relationship with them, this is probably the most important thing. So mindset, I would say, is the most important. So this is second to mindset, and that is that you have to detach from the outcome. So remember I said that you're a coach, you're a messenger, you're an educator, you're an informer. And that is your responsibility. You owe it. I think I owe it to people to tell them about this because it has changed everything for our family and for our future. I owe it to people to share that. But I detach myself from the outcome. And I think that that's so important for you to do. It's not your responsibility for how they hear it or how they respond to it. It's your responsibility to share it first and foremost. I always have the expectation that they're going to say, yes, like I totally need that. That's my expectation when I'm smiling of sending my text or voicemail or different things. Like my thinking is, oh my goodness, I'm giving them the greatest gift that they've ever needed, and they're going to say yes to it. but I'm going to detach from it because there's a big possibility, right? That it's not the right time, that they're in a bad season, that they're just not ready to hear it because of all the noise going on in their life. And so I have to detach from that side so that I can continue to have a relationship with them, right? If I hold on to their response, I might get my feelings hurt. I might get bitter. I might question why they don't love me, because if they loved me, they would participate with me. No, I have to detach from that so that we can continue a healthy relationship. And then whenever it is time for them to come back around and say, okay, I'm ready for this, our relationship is still intact. So that is so important for you to protect yourself in that. And it's very healthy for you to do that. Okay. Another thing is to make sure that you are being authentic. It is so important for you to be you, nobody else. Nobody that you have a role model or someone that you look up to, or you think, oh my goodness, she is so successful. If I can just act like her and dress like her and be like her and talk like her, then I will be just, no, like you're created to be you. You've given your skills and your talents and your giftedness, like be you and be authentic, be genuine when you're having conversation with other people, and be able to share. And there's so much like, of just sharing to say, hey, I've got this opportunity that I want to share with you, and I want to share it with you because you do build really great relationships, and you're just so out there, and it's easy for you to talk, and I know that you know people that need what I have. And so I'd love to have a conversation with you just to see who you know that needs this opportunity or needs these products. Do you have 15 to 20 minutes? You know what? I just told you one way that I share. There's no pressure on them. I've put no pressure on them. I'm not saying I need for you to do this with me. No, I need for you to help me because you are already so good at what you do, right? You're complimenting them. You're excited about being able to do it. And so share in that way and be genuine with it. Like really compliment them on something that really is complimentary, right? Like know them well enough to know how to compliment them. Be passionate, and then your posture. So we've talked about all those different pieces for when you share. So just a couple of more things and then I'm going to close it out. But when you're sharing, I want you to know that you are not convincing people. You're finding a need that a person has and you have a way to fill it. I do not have to convince anybody about these products. I have an amazing story. I have friends who have amazing stories. I share and I inform, but I never have to convince. These products speak on their own. And I think that my confidence in knowing that and not having to beg or convince makes a difference. And I think that there's a respect whenever we don't have to convince people. So make sure that you're not convincing in any way. Guys, look for the people that are looking for something. I mean, look for those people. This weekend, I sent messages to people that talked about back pain. I sent one, just real quick, sent a message, a private message to a friend that I grew up with that had just posted about her incredible back pain. And I messaged her and I said, I am so sorry that you are in so much pain. I'm praying for you. And about, 24 hours, 12 hours later, I think I did it at night, she messaged me the next morning. She goes, how did you know I was in pain? As if like I was a fortune teller. And I was like, you posted about it. She was like, oh yeah. And then we had this big conversation and we talked again tonight, and she's going to order our ease and our nerve. But I thought it was so funny. Sometimes people post a need and they don't even know that they're posting a need. But if you listen in conversation, if you listen in posts, you will hear the need and you have a way to fill that need through time, freedom, community, health and wellness supplements, opportunity, self-development. I mean, guys, Our company literally has it all. You just need to be listening, you need to be watching, and you need to be seeing what it is that they need. We've got everything that they need. Okay, so last thing that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to go really fast. I always have way too much information prepared, but in sharing, this is a really big one that I want you guys to hear, and that is three-way calls and three-way chats. This is where you will grow your business. If you are not implementing this and you are wanting to grow and you're wanting to meet your goals and you're wanting to share to meet those goals, you've got to implement this piece. So what is a three-way call or a three-way chat? So this can be a Zoom. I've done it as a Zoom. I've done it as a call on my phone, conference call with two other people, and I've done it as a three-way chat. So I've done it all three ways. All three ways are incredibly successful. It is between you, your upline, and your potential. So the person that you're talking to about Plexus, whether it's the opportunity or the supplements, or it can be between you, your upline, and your brand new ambassador. So what I love is whenever the person is a new prospect and we have a conversation and that prospect becomes a new ambassador and we have a second three-way call conversation, the coolest ever to do those. Because in the beginning, they want to hear story and enthusiasm and see community. And in the second one, they are actually living out the support and the strategy and getting everything set up, and you've already built community with them. It is so fantastic to do that. So that is who is involved in that. And let your upline know that you want to do this. Like, tell them, I'm getting started with this. So that is what it is. It's very, very, very effective. For your new person, so for your potential or your new ambassador, the big benefits, so get this, the big benefits of that is that if you are a new ambassador, I have new ambassadors that I do this with that literally they go so much faster. So we always talk about, make sure that you move your new ambassadors to silver quickly so that they can see that success, see that community. But what happens with them is that they see that they have support. They see that their upline is there to help them and to help strategize and to help have that conversation. Guys, your new ambassadors, when they are doing these three-way calls and you are helping them do this, they are being trained from the very beginning. As they are learning, they are earning. So this three-way chat, whatever venue that you want to use, they are hearing you, and so they're being trained, but they're already bringing in prospects as customers and ambassadors, and they will get commissions and paychecks on that. They are earning while they are learning. So important for them to be able to have that. You want them to be blessed financially so that they can see the power of our compensation plan. So make sure that you're putting that in. It also, for your new ambassadors, if they start doing this immediately so that they can start getting momentum, it takes the pressure off of them. Do you remember whenever you were a new ambassador? I remember for me, it was me, Laura Heinrichs, Michelle Harold, the three of us kind of all jumped in together and none of us knew what we were doing. And I sent them crazy information in the beginning and way information overload. Like, there was so much pressure of, am I doing it right? And did they get it? Did they not get it? Do I understand it? Do they understand it? If you do three-way chats, it pulls that pressure off of your new people. It pulls it off because their upline who has the experience, they are helping. Now, I definitely have people that it's my level 1 that is new and they add their level 1. So it's my level 2. And so I have 2 newbies that are in downline. I do it for all of them. I do it for all of them because they're all learning. So I still, I help my downline, 1s, 2s, and 3s, depending on how that newness is and what that looks like, so that everyone can be learning and it takes that pressure off, okay? But this is what happens with your potential. This is that third person that's on that call. They're getting this third-party validation, which is amazing. So they're saying, wow, not only does Melissa believe in all this crazy stuff, but her friend Roz, her upline, oh my goodness, her passion is crazy. Look how successful she is. So she gets this third-party validation that is happening. She sees through that, she immediately sees community. She immediately sees the fun that we have, the camaraderie, the friendship, which is huge. And it's going to pique their interest. It's going to get them excited about what's going on. So they get to see that support immediately. What does it do for everybody? When you do three-way chats, calls, Zooms, whichever one you want to do, everyone grows. Everyone benefits. Everyone financially is blessed. So you have to put these pieces into practice, okay? And you have to make sure that you're doing these. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to start doing three-way calls now. So tonight, like right now, I want you to write down people. I want you to do a brain dump of 10, 15, 20 people that you have not reached out to. I want you to put them all down, just like what we were talking about, and incorporating that piece in. But I also want you to look at the people that you contacted last week. So hopefully you contacted at least 5 people every single day. You can take one day out or take 2 days out. So 5 days, that's 25 people. I want you to go look at your 25 people that you contacted last week and even the week before. And I want you to say, I want you to asterisk at least 5 of them that you can do a three-way call with, chat, three-way message. I want you to contact your upline and say, hey, I'm going to start doing three-way messages. I'm going to do at least 1 a day. Be ready. Okay? Because your upline needs to know that they need to jump into conversation. And I want you to start having those conversations with your people. I want you to do 1 a day, every day this week, and start incorporating those, because I promise that is where you will get momentum. That's where you will get trained. That's where you can hear your upline, have these conversations and learn from them. Learn what they're saying, learn from hearing their story, learn from the questions that they ask. And that's one thing. So if you do these three-way calls, let me flip back over here to my notes that I want to share with you. Whenever you tell them that you're going to do this, it's very laid back. It's really, really easy. So don't make it anything crazy. It's only like 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be long at all. Make it easy, make it fun. You want to find a way to connect. So you're letting your upline know that you're going to have this conversation with them. But whenever you're on that line, your upline is going to ask a couple of questions, like what piqued their interest? Was it the opportunity? Was it the health? Like learn those things. Then your opportunity. I share my story on the business side and on the health side. Depending on how they answer is which one I start with. But then I end that conversation with re-asking them a few questions. Whenever I ask them the questions up front about what piqued their interest, I make sure I answer that piquing of that interest in my story. And then I turn back around and I ask them questions at the end. It is very easy. It's very quick. They learn community. They see excitement. They see friendship. And it gets them to the next level. So I would love to see you incorporate this into, your weeks and into your days. I promise it's fun. It's exciting. I love three-ways. I have someone that I'm doing a three-way with right now out of Canada. And this is what's crazy. She's not even on our team. She is a customer. I met her on an airplane on the way to Hawaii. She became a preferred customer. She now has another friend in Canada, and she started a three-way chat with me. She already knows our process, and she's not even on our team. And it is so much fun to hear their stories in Canada and the things that are going on there and how we can help them. So it's just a blast. It's a great way to meet new people and be interested in their life and what's going on with them and find a way to fill their need, right? So I'm going to turn off the recording, and if